over like the last 4 tournaments that they played, and they actually had top 4 placings in those 4 tournaments. Brolin is at plus 135 in his KD, and Crims is plus 121.
It's surprising looking at this team. Well, it's not surprising so much anymore, but when this roster was formed, if you'd looked at it, to say that Brolin is the best player in the team would almost have been unheard of, but I think it's a fact. I don't think it's even arguable at this point. Like, the kid is nuts, and I can't wait to see him play today. Renegades, though, they've, again, managed to get a very decent map pool. We've seen some strong performances on this in the past. JW already going to be kicking things off. Golden as well picks off 2 from the door, and Crims chimes in. This has been an absolute slaughter in the pistol round, leaving Mortar all on his lonesome.
Well, I know something Fnatic has been doing in their downtime since their last tournament of Pro League. Clearly AIM USP maps.
I'm sure there's a lot that they've been doing in their past times, but yeah, it's looking good, really. Flusher going for a knife kill in the first round of the series. First round in a few months, so clearly they're feeling pretty confident going into this one. Of course, as you can see, the maps are on your screen there, if you missed it as I did, because I was looking at my notepad like a fool. But yeah.
Yeah, how dare you look at your own prep? Terrible person.
Well, it is silly to look at your prep when someone's revealing the answers to what you're trying to predict.
No, it's the funny thing is that people at home are like, he's looking at the map Vigos on the screen. But no, he wasn't. I can confirm that. Either way.
It doesn't even have them on that screen.
He's got pictures of me on that screen. Fnatic, we're at the early lead. I need someone to Photoshop like my face or my head on your body and your face or head on my body.
Sounds horrible,
just
to be honest.
See like what Tall Tom would look like and hairless Jason. Actually, no, I don't want to see that because that's probably my life coming up in a few years. But we see Renegades. They do have a scout out of Sicko. You have a big grouping up in towards middle as well. And you can see Fnatic kind of just giving some space to Renegades. Not sure exactly what they're going to bring to this round. Crim just easily going to back off if he gets the early spot. The bomb, though, in the meantime, still over on Dexter outside of B. So I'm imagining they're going to rotate back around and maybe try to sell a fake so they can get the bomb down and plant it. But Golden's still going to be tucked away in the back of B with his own scout.
I do wonder if this was the classic matchmaking strategy of you go AI, plant bomb B. Like, it's not the most in-depth strategy in the world, but you normally see this short plant made to get the bomb down. So the fact that they don't, it just depends how quickly the realization is going to come in for Golden, and he has realized now this is where it comes into his head, and he's right there. He just has to push in. This should be the kill, but he gets the plant. It's going to make absolutely no difference of whether they win the round or not. They would have got a bomb down, in fact, on the A side because they took it completely.
Right.
But at least if you're Dexter, you can go, well, it worked. I got the bomb down. Like, you know, everybody died, and no one died on the CT side, but what was the plan? Get the bomb down. Did it work?
I did my job.
Yeah, what
did you guys do?
Where was your rotation, guys?
Yeah.
Come on.
Get a kill. Jeez. Either way, 2-0 for Fnatic. Looking pretty confident. Looking pretty good. JW on 4 kills. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I wonder if Renegades did go A with a bomb, if they actually were able to like defend it at all. But as we saw JW picking up those kills, probably not too likely there. Let's see what Renegades have. I mean, the thing is, I always love like the story of Renegades, even the old Renegades, back when Sponge was playing, and of course the 100 Thieves now, of like playing out of a region and having to play against a completely like different level. It feels like almost when they get to these international lands. You can think of some Brazilian teams as well, back into the MIBR, before the SK, before that Luminosity days, even Furia nowadays. I always like to see the drive that a lot of these teams do have, and our Renegades, they have the fate in their own hands. You need to start taking some rounds here on Dust2. You need to start hitting some shots as well. You can see In's already being tagged up. Up to 51 health. And do they even know JW's here?
No, they don't. That's actually going to lead to Sicko going down. Now, they could boost on top, and that leaves JW very vulnerable indeed, but Haas isn't going to be able to trade the kill back. Inns should, and that will at least leave things into a 3 versus 3. Crims, however, finds the man on short. In fact, it's Dexter now rotating from short to actually help out on long. The issue is Brolin starting to get aggressive through this mid push. The T side trying to slowly make their way forward. This is all going to come down to timing. You can see they're checking their backside just to make sure that if anybody is coming in from behind, they're aware, but I think Brolin has got the timing absolutely perfect. Gonna hit the headshot as well onto Inns. That's the AWP drop to the floor, and it leaves Dexter now alone. 25 seconds left on the clock. He does at least have the bomb, but making this cross is gonna be very difficult, even though it's a scout on the other side. But the missed shot gives him an opener. It's the second as well, and now he's just gotta be careful of the man coming in from behind, but he can now plant a little bit safer. He doesn't. He chooses for a more open one, but Brolin doesn't see him. He'll get the kill anyway. And, well, considering what was invested for Fnatic into that round, that was just all the weapons they carried through from round number 2. That's going to be a big bonus. A free AWP, some extra money as well. But at a bare minimum, Renegades get a bomb plant. So they could go for an investment into the next round if they wanted to try and force the issue.
And again, Dexter's like, I got the bomb down. Where were you guys? No, well done. I still think like Renegades getting those 4 kills was phenomenal. Getting hats boosted over the top. Able to get those kills after they lost Sicko right off the bat. And Fnatic looking to continue that steam. I mean, like, you can't deny like the reign they did have towards the later parts of the year. Like top 4 finishes in the last 4 tournaments they played. And I think all questions about what kind of form they're bringing into Katowice are definitely going to be answered by the end of this series. And it's looking to push through the smoke. He's getting tagged up by Flush, who's just looking to back off now. And they're still leaving Dexter. I mean, this is kind of like typical Renegade style, even with a slight change up of roster, just leaving Dexter to kind of do his own thing. Kind of similar to like Blame F on Complexity, I can see, where he just kind of lurks and looks for some kills. Kind of locks down that lower B position. He also has the hero AK too.
Short control. Gathered up. We've seen some already dynamic setups coming out from the CT side early. Long control in the last round, but this time not wanting to get up in the faces when they have the advantageous weaponry. So just going to sit back passive, take short control just early into the round, not allow for that potential of the same short push, which normally guarantees a bomb plant and can also get you quite close to the player on site, which is going to be JW with that AWP. Dexter has managed to lurk his way out middle, though, and the team are just waiting to see what he can do. Doesn't realize there's a second player just a little bit further around the corner. I'm sure he would have waited to try for the double. JW as well, just going to have that firing range onto long, and they've cleared out that singular AK-47, leaving it all onto the pistols. Nice shot from Mortar, at least going to try and make this that a little bit more costly, but they'll peek him together. JW even gets the kill with the USP, and Fnatic go 4-0 up.
JW 8-0. Sorry, 8-1. He is hitting some fantastic shots and playing so well so far. I mean, then again, it was Renegades with just the one AK bought up. But still, having someone like him to be so strong early on in the match and so confident has to really put fear into the eyes of Renegades as they progress through further into this. And again, Renegades going back into the buy-up. Sicko with the op. Yeah, to really make any presence so far in this first half on 0 kills. Even Fnatic going for like an early cat push here, and I think this is just the confidence out of them, right? Ooh, shoots a little high over Sicko, just ducks under the bullet. And there we go, Dexter gets one too, so they're at least able to have a man advantage, maintain it even after Flushy gets the kill on the Malta. But can they get it into a round when Brolin's coming around and his head cleanly taken off by Dexter?
He's done well fighting into middle, but even still the trade comes back once again from Flusher. However, the B site now firmly in the control of Hats. JW, oh, he can get past the Molotov. They will have heard it, but he doesn't connect. And that's going to be Hats putting this round to bed. Flusher, been renowned for his plays around the smoke, but this will be a bit too much to ask for. And you can see in the meantime, if he does go anywhere near the rotation background to the back of B, there is a man waiting in the form of Inns just watching into the tunnels. And this is just going to have to be the save. And even still, the last few rounds weren't necessarily the most costly. Of course, the one where Brolin survived on his own, they had investment of SMGs and some other weapons missing. So this round now for Renegades is going to call into question what Fnatic will actually buy. The T's not going to be in a bad position whatsoever. And again, we start to see what Dexter is renowned for. This is the man that, although he is the in-game leader for the side, he's also one of the best to watch because he's just going to grind out kills. He's going to find picks where they need it, and he's going to be integral for them actually playing into this one. I think Sicko also just punishing Crims early enough, it might actually force the CT side to show a little bit more respect to Renegades, because if they were able to continue to like rush out and just peek angles like they were in the early rounds and take that upper mid control, that would be a real issue for the Renegades.
I mean, hopefully, like Dexter's been able to do a decent job with mid control. able to be like really sneaky in a couple of rounds earlier on, and then able to do some decent damage with the SG as well. You can see that Fnatic with just the SG out of Flush, who saved it, and the Scout. It's really not a big investment out of them. JW on 4K, so saving up for the op into the next round. And I think this is a round that like Renegades need to win, but more importantly, need to win it cleanly. They need to really prevent Flush from getting 1, 2, maybe 3 kills.
Yeah, he's going to be the problem child. Smoke going to be set up early. They do look to make this split onto the A site happen once again. It's JW alone with a P250 out towards long. The flashbang as well from Sicko leaves him completely blind, so no real chance for the Swede. And the T's, although they've thrown out a fair bit of utility early, they're just being patient. Nice work from Flusher, though. He's going to go back for a little bit more, and he gets both players. Now this comes down to just the long push, which actually leaves them quite isolated. Krims goes in for the peak with the Deagle. Not a whole lot to lose, so he can take these risks and try and distract as Flusher goes back for a little bit more. A third kill for the Swede as Hat now tries to take him down, and finally will, and leaves it onto just the pistols, or so they thought, as that SG then gets picked up. Or an SG gets picked up by Brolin. He's going to peek him for more. And Fnatic, they win the round out of very little. You spoke about keeping it clean. They didn't keep it at all.
Yeah, with Flushy getting 3 kills. Insane stuff out of him. And that's really unfortunate for Renegades, because they were starting to build up some momentum, right? They were starting to look pretty good. There was a couple of rounds that they were able to do some really good damage. Like you mentioned, Brolin surviving with just himself, able to get a relatively decent round in the one prior. But one and done, unfortunately, is going to be the name of the game for Renegades. And now Fnatic back in the driver's seat. They have a lot of money, at least in JW's hands. So if they lose the op in this round, they're going to have it into the next. They're trying to rush straight out from long. Renegades able to get Dexter pushed out. They're not going to expect him this close. He gets the first kill as well. And the spray through. It's going to be out of Malta through the smoke to get the kill. Flush is still alive, and Flusha, he wants more blood. He wants more kills. He halts the push in towards long and keeps things equal at 3, though Malta's on 4 health.
Yeah, once again, there's been this early battle for long, which the T's have been able to come out on top at least the majority of the times. They get the control. It's almost just looking at what cost. What have you lost in this scenario? JW as well. He's off to a great start, which is always worrying for any team on the other side. Clearly feeling confident. A minute left on the clock. And again, they're going to try and pressure down long. It hasn't really been too successful for them, however. And JW, that's his easier kill, as he's going to get a nice trade from Malta, the low HP player, able to do the work with the Krieg. You can see a slight rotation coming in from Brolin, but maybe a little bit hesitant, as there's already the peak coming in around that long position. He just wants to try and find another avenue. And just in case they do rotate, maybe look to hold them in.
Yeah, I mean, they had, what, like 50-something seconds left when they got that kill onto JW. Easily time to rotate back towards B if they want to. They do not... Actually, they do have 1 smoke out of Ins. It's going to be hard to cover the cross completely, though. With 25 seconds left, they're going to have to make their move. Brolin's backed off in towards tunnel, so he's now going to know it's not towards B. And they're actually just going to walk across. I like this. No investment with the smoke. No trying to give away their position. I don't think Flush even spotted it either. But he's going to hear the bomb being planted momentarily, and Brolin's over towards short. So they're going to have a nice little pressure coming through, and Flush is just going to walk up in towards the A site. Malta on 4 health, on 0 health now. Now Ins in a 1-on-2.
Yeah, back towards Goose. He's also been spotted now by Flusher, so all the information is there, trying to set out a pop flash, which does at least mean that Brolin has to look away, hits the headshot through the box, but it isn't quite going to be enough. And again, in these clutch situations, Fnatic come out on top. AWP going to be retrieved in a comfortable defuse in the end, but still these rounds are actually coming fairly close, considering the positions that Renegades put them in. Like in the 3v3 with 1 player low HP, I didn't really think they would get as far as they did. The sneak that they managed through long as well to get onto the bomb site, just basically counting on the fact that their opposition thought they'd rotated back the other way. It was a risk, but it gets them onto the site. Unfortunately, they just lost it in the remaining duels. 6-1, double up setup retrieved as well. So there is going to be a secondary pulled in here. And I wonder who's actually going to be picking it up. There's a few different candidates. We've seen Krims do it in the past, but at the moment it's being held by Golden.
I would imagine Golden, since he's been the one generally holding like back a B, like we saw earlier on with the Scout, I think in round 2. I think Brolin, yeah, get him like the SG. Actually, they didn't save an SG, so get him like an M4. or an AUG. That works as well, because he's been performing really well. He's been doing well, I feel like, so far in this match when he's been, like, free. Like, he's been allowed to just push things and get aggressive in positions and catch people off guard. Like, he flanked around towards long A, you know, and I think that was in round 3. Pulled off the 1v1 clutch, too, in that situation. Fnatic are looking damn good, honestly. Like, JW, Flusha, Brolin, you can't really knock any of them so far.
Now, once again, a patient round, but okay. We thought the Golden would be more towards the back of B. Instead, he's actually taking the fight in mid. Definitely not renowned for his AWPing, but there's one hell of a start. And In's also, I think he just got peeked through the long doors, has been tagged up to 43 HP. Similarly to what we saw Astralis doing in some of the early rounds of Overpass, just getting these aggressive faces and peaks and winning the duels and just leaving Renegades in positions where even if they had a sound strategy or a good idea going into the round, they're already facing it with a deficit. Now, looking like they're going to challenge for short once again. It is only JW here, but with that AWP on the cross, even if he just hits one and they fall back for the retake, Fnatic are going to be in such a strong position.
Exactly. I mean, Flush is pushed up aggressively as well. He has a smoke to help assist in towards A house. I mean, oh, that's unfortunate, but even if JW only misses the shot, like, you're still going to have such a strong potential with all 5 players left alive, knowing that In's a little bit tagged up down to 43 health. Flash going to come through to help stall this one. JW going for the peek. Kind of catches himself a little bit with the flashbang, but still, he's alive. He's not dropped it. What a shot on a Sicko. I could barely see a pixel on an X-ray. And now Crims comes in from short just as quickly, and now it's going to be a 5-on-2.
Yeah, this is an impossible scenario for Renegades. They've got so much left to do. They almost need to try and get aggressive. And I'm saying Inz has already died. Nice shot from Hats at least, but we need 4 more of those, and he's only got 4 health. Both players dunked out by nades. Good utility usage from Fnatic, and they've been doing that quite regularly in these retake scenarios, just like bouncing a grenade onto the site. 7-1. Ridiculously strong start now. Even Finance is starting to build up for the Swedes. And the T's, well, again, they get a bomb plant down. It will give them some money if they wanted to go for the buy, but so far, we haven't really seen too much of them. It's mainly been what Dexter has been able to achieve in mid. Sicko's had his AWP a couple of times, and I think the only time it's really been too impactful is when we've seen aggressive faces actually coming out from the CT side.
And even then, I mean, it's worked, like, what, once?
Yep.
Sicko again on the scout now, trying to accomplish something with it in middle. Again, early utilities out of Fnatic to deny them any sort of long A take right off the bat. I think they know they're up against just some pistols and armor here. And JW going over in towards middle, where Golden was holding previously. So they definitely banged a lot more people over towards the B site, maybe expecting a push to come through.
I wonder if this will be the first time we actually see some real challenge into mid or B. Because it's been fairly one-dimensional for Renegades so far. It's been short and long. Those are the 2 positions they've challenged in the majority of rounds. Okay, there was the round they won where Dexter managed to peek into mid. JW, however, already going to be getting that opener. Of course, it's only pistols in this round. It's going to be tough for them to get anything done. Nice shot from Hats, at least. We'll find one within the B site, but it seemed like Fnatic were more than aware of what they were about to attempt. They had a bolstered B-site defense, and they make that one look very easy indeed.
I swear, I mean, as an observer, Fnatic must be one of your favorite teams at the moment, because you just keep the camera on JW or Brolin, and you're like pretty much going to catch most of the kills. I guess Flush is some love in there too. Yeah, you're right. Like the success Renegades have had in towards middle has just basically been Dexter, and there was an opportunity for him to pick up like those 2 kills into the 2 players in towards CT spawn, but guess he didn't hear the second player run in. But not really been able to find that magic equation. That might have been it, but Crims is going to get the kill into In still. Man advantage back to Fnatic, and I feel like if you're Renegades, like with these buy rounds that you've been having and being forced to save every so often, you can't afford to lose a player right off the bat without returning the kill as well. They've lost now 2. It's a 5-on-3. And we're only, what, 30 seconds into the round? Yeah,
this is actually looking a little bit sloppy now from Renegades. Like, there has been 3, maybe more rounds where 20 seconds in, they've lost a man. And it, like, sure, the peak on long is more down to timing and spawns, so you can understand that one, but the peak into mid, like, it came with no flash, it came with nothing, or short, or whatever it was, just trying to take that fight raw versus an AWP, and the chance of you winning that is slim. It basically just comes down to timing and a little bit of luck. So I'm starting to worry a bit for Renegades. Like, this is not looking like the sort of structured unit we've seen before. And a lot of their, as I said, aggression has just been failing miserably.
And what kind of is even more worrisome, Tom, is that this is their map choice.
Yeah. And this is one, as said, towards the end of last year, Fnatic seemed a little bit more hesitant to play in comparison to some of the others they have on the list. So the fact that if this comes back as a strong map within their pool, there's real issues. And maybe that's one of the reasons they haven't faced into the B site so much. Brolin is an absolute master of the site. It's going to be 9-1 now in favor of Fnatic. And as of yet, they haven't even had to break a sweat.
14-4 for JW, 10-4 for Flusha, 10-1 for Brolin. Renegades need to figure something out. They need to figure it out fast. And I liked your idea about the mid to B kind of play. But, you know, Golden, look at that confidence. Just peeks out middle, past the smoke, gets an early kill. Again, man advantage to Fnatic. Albeit Renegades are on just the pistols and a scout. It just seems like Fnatic have them read completely. Like, even the incendiary grenade being thrown in at the perfect position to stop them from getting out of lower.
Well, the last few times, at least, that they've actually fought mid has been when they've had questionable economy. It's not really been in proper rifle rounds. Same with B. Like, there's not really been any pressure there. Like, Brolin, he's got most of his kills while rotating or retaking. Like, it's not been the toughest time for the B-side player at the moment. And sure, okay, he's a very good player. He's one that maybe someone wants to avoid, but the fact that it has just been people walking into JW time and time again. Crims now has his chance in the limelight and is going to hit all his shots as well. Fnatic now 10-1 up. They really haven't had any trouble throughout this match so far. We're going to get another buy round in for the side of Renegades. Even just looking at the ADR, it's just kind of depressing for the Aussie side, but
I mean, what Brolin has, like the highest on Renegades is the second lowest player out of Fnatic. If I can do numbers correctly.
Well, this time, once again, we're going to have the boost up onto short, so this is going to be an early aggressive play. JW is going to be so well placed. Malta had absolutely no idea. Again, 10 seconds into the round, there's an initial kill. Dexter is going to be able to find one back. As said, the small glimmer of hope has been his aggression. But even still, he's down to just 3 HP. Oh no, where's this going? Okay, it should go a little bit too far to actually kill him. I don't think they realize that he's just lurking within the smoke. That could be the one thing that saves them. He's going to net another frag, but he doesn't know that Crims is just behind. In the meantime, they switch things up. I like this from Renegades. Straight up onto short after the initial success. Crims is going to hear everything, spot everything, and in the meantime, Flusha goes hunting to spot if there's anything out towards long, which he realizes quickly there isn't. So this is going to allow for an easier time, at least in the retake. But if they kill him off, then it should be a Renegades round.
Yeah, they got two players trained directly on his angle. Two members of Fnatic coming in from CT, trying to cause a little bit of a distraction, though they should know there's a player towards long. Brolin gets the first onto ins. Matt's trying to respond, does get the kill, so does Sicko. So now it's all on Crims and a 1-on-2. He knows where Hats is. I think he has an idea where Sicko is. Unfortunately, knowing where he is not going to be enough, as finally Renegades do put a round on the board. And that was just basically off the back of Dexter getting 2, right? Pushes out middle, gets the first kill, pushes out again, gets a second with the help of the smoke.
I think the mid-round call as well to quickly push towards short after finding those picks was a really good call. If that was him or maybe someone just chiming in from their position, that basically won them the round because he forced Fnatic to go into mid. He forced them to go down and drop off of short and maneuver their positions away from short just to try and stop him. And that's basically his job. His job is to give space to everybody else on the rest of the map. He does it perfectly. They get an opener and then they get the bomb down without any real pressure. So much better from Renegades, but again, it's tough to rely on that. Like, sure, he's managed to get in a couple of times, but there was a little bit of luck in there, like hiding in the smoke, being on 3 HP after the first duel. Like, you can't rely on that. And I think that might be why we're actually seeing a pause called, I imagine, by Renegades. Because, okay, sure, Fnatic might be a little bit like, okay, let's not throw this half away. But they've got so much money to buy with JW's as close as 16K as you can get. And they can basically just crush Renegades straight back down to what will likely be a sketchy force buy.
The thing was, what opened up that, actually I think it's maybe even a tech pause, it's lasting so long, was that like Dexter just ran out middle and got the first kill, or got their first kill, right? And then we saw, was it JW get pushed over towards short and he was able to get the kill for himself, but like that aggressive play, just rushing, you can't, like you said, can't really count on that to win you rounds. Yeah, it looks like there was a disconnect indeed here for Renegades. So just gonna wait for him to get back on the server so we can continue this. I don't know if we're gonna be, no, there's no way we're remaking it, right? The round. I'm still always unfamiliar with how it works of when the call to remake a round is done. Is it you have to call it before the round starts or before there's a kill?
I'm pretty sure he would have dropped after the round anyway.
Okay.
I don't think it had any impact. Like nothing's happened, so
right,
I don't know why they'd have to. I don't know why they'd have to do anything. No, the norm is if damage is done. That's normally the call, but not really anything.
What about self damage? Like, what if you fall from high?
It's still damage.
Does that count?
I'm pretty sure if you take damage.
That would be rough if like someone crashes in front of you while you're knifing. You know, like people sometimes randomly do, and you knife them, and then you can't. I know, because then you would crash. I don't know. Anyways, let's just stop thinking about this because I always seem to make things more difficult and harder for myself.
As I said, well, unless I missed it, which is possible, I don't think that was during the last round at all. Okay. And also, you can't play the round, win the round, and then go, let's start that one again. Like, why would they do that?
We don't need this handicap. Come on.
We've been trying to win rounds the whole time, but we'd like to do that one again. Like, no.
We want to earn it.
There's absolutely no chance that that's happening here. But yeah, a fantastic start for Fnatic. There's no doubt about it. We've seen basically everybody have their moments as well, which is definitely going to be a bit more questionable.
The thing is, looking at like the group that we have for these two teams, right? We have Astralis Cloud9 with Astralis advancing through, NIP Vitality, Na'Vi FaZe, and then Renegades Fnatic. Like, there's still going to be some like really interesting matchups. Whoever wins this match playing against the winner of Na'Vi FaZe, like that's going to be a damn tough match for any team out there to do.
Yeah, I think that this, if Fnatic do continue in the way that they're going, this will almost be their warm-up match. Like that will be the tougher match going forward. And Renegades, the likelihood is they will be falling into the lower bracket. I'm hoping there'll be a little bit more from them, of course. And as of what we've seen so far, this has been fairly underwhelming. They've been caught out by a lot of the aggressive plays that Fnatic have been throwing in, and even just like when it comes down to what they've actually been doing, like it's been very, very heavy towards this A side, which it's going to be the case with a lot of teams, but it means that there can be further gambles. That's better though. Quick peek out, a timing shot that gives Sicko the opportunity to get the pick onto JW, who has been an absolute menace so far.
Look at Crimson mid though. So to cut you off, Tom, look how far he's been pushed up here. He's actually going to spot them out, but unfortunately can't get the kill. We see it come in. Golden actually helps him out. Golden gets a second, and that equalizes things with them losing JW off the bat towards long.
That was a true, like, sacrificial play from Golden there. Like, nah, you're not having Crims. They did kill him anyway, but let's move away from that. He's managed to get the trade. And look at the information he's found. He's gone all the way through, gone into T-spawn. Now, he's not actually spotted anything out yet, and the remaining two players are still just holding into mid, so there's still going to be a good opportunity to get the cross-off. There is 2 smokes available, so the T side don't have to take the risk we saw from them previously, but now Flush is getting aggressive as well, and this is where things are going to get much, much tougher for the Renegades, as it's clearly been realized where they have to be going. Brolin holding that cross. They go for the peak once again, but they do get the trade at least. However, I don't know if they're going to expect Flusher to be this deep within the site, and he's going to utilize his Molotov to buy Goldem some extra time. It's going to be left now, all onto Sicko. The AWP managing to start off the round strong. Can he continue this into some sort of clutch? He's at least going to net the plant. But look at this. It's good from Fnatic. They're going to opt to actually play this one together. They know they're up against the AWPer. Unless they line up, I don't think this is going to work.
They got a lot of utility to use too. 2 grenades, incendiary grenade, and a smoke behind that as well. Sicko, he's in the perfect position to be naded down. There we go. First comes through. That's 44 damage. Spots at the second as the incendiary gets thrown in. Gets completely overwhelmed by Fnatic. Well done by them. And this will be Fnatic getting on to 11.
Their retakes have been impressive. Like, almost every single one has involved a nade kill or nade damage or someone being forced out of position. Like, they have been really well structured. I think all the sort of riskier plays we've seen from them in the past, like the big clutch plays, haven't actually been needed. Like, we always talk about Fnatic, how they're phenomenal in like a 1v2 or 1v3. Like, any player can pull off a round. They haven't needed a single one, because when it comes to retakes, they have forced Renegades into the most awkward positions every single time. Like, Sicko, what can he do there? He's been naded, a Molotov forces him out, he tries to jump away, it gets really awkward, and by that point, Flusher's already right down his neck. Like, this is just good play coming out from the Swedes, and Renegades, it seems like they're struggling.
And also knowing that Golden was towards long, it's like, where can you safely peek as him? And again, Golden gets another kill. This one from the B site in towards tunnels. Again, confidence is something Fnatic is definitely not lacking. And again, like I feel like we're like a broken record at this point, but Renegades, you know, within like the first 20 to 40 seconds of the round, they're playing a man down.
I think 40's kind. I don't think it's been that late most of the time. JW not going to connect this time. And that does at least mean that the T's can gain some map control. Pick up short once again, which has been one of their go-to positions on the map thus far.
I'm still really confused a little bit, Tom, is that like they've walked around that corner so many times without a flashbang now, and JW's been in that same position so many times.
Yeah. The only problem is they need flashbangs for that.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I was looking at that, I was like, well, money's a little bit light.
And 35 seconds, and there's still so much to do. They're going to try and just take a dry peek into mid. Brolin is waiting. He lines them up and just wrecks them. Leaves only one man standing. Okay, Malta finally gets the trade, but it is too little too late. The push through mid as well is going to put Flusher in a position, and this, please, just end his misery after failing the jump twice. I think that was deserved. Flusher, he's been everywhere. And now that's 12 and 2. The T side don't even have a buy here, which is probably the most depressing thing of all. It's going to be a Mac 10. I wouldn't even mind them seeing just trying to blast through that B site. Smoke it, just try something ridiculous here. Nothing's working. Try and put some real pressure onto Golden, who hasn't had any. Instead, it's going to be back to what is a similar play to what we've seen previously. Brolin looking for the spot in middle. They're going to fight for long. Actually take a little bit more of an aggressive point, but there is no way Malta should get anywhere near winning that duel. Somehow it's a little bit close. And actually, I think we just saw Golden peek into lower tunnels and find that initial pick as well. There really is nothing that Fnatic won't try. Nice nade onto Dexter just to make things that little bit worse. And one by one, the Renegades are getting picked off.
I really wish we could see like the utility damage so far out of Fnatic, because you already mentioned before, like their nades on retakes have been phenomenal. Sicko's trying to look for a shot here, but not really giving him an angle for it. And Flush, in the meantime, takes down Dexter. That's a player towards long. He's tucked away in towards the car. They do have a Molotov to dislodge him, which they're going to be able to throw in, but he's actually just backs up a little bit, creates some distance. That's Golden to help watch the cross from the pit position. Yeah, this is looking a lot like my matchmaking games right now. Everyone just coming along to look for the duel, to look for the fight. Sicko's going to win out on this one, but again, 1 versus 3 with the Scout. He has 2 kills, but he needs to find 3 more to get Renegades up to 3 rounds. And he just looks to peek towards the longhouse and gets his head clean taken off. So Fnatic, questions about what their kind of form would be coming into Katowice? Well, their form is looking damn good as they take the first half 13-2 here on Dust2. We'll be back after a short break to continue half number 2.
bench, waiting for the time to pass, dreaming of what happens next. I see what I wanna be, questioning my destiny, only knowing what I see. I don't even realize I've already made a path, and I can change it anytime. I can't take it back. I know what I want, but it seems so damn far away. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh. I know I empower those who dream like me. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh. I know I empower those who dream like me. And you say you wanna be somebody. Then you better use it. Tell yourself day after day it's time to prove it. No days off, keep the hustle moving. Wanna see you be what you wanted to be, prove it. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh. I know I empower those who dream like me. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2020 Masters Championship. That's a lot to say in a very quick amount of time. Jason Kappen joined by Tom Biz as we are well into our day here, our first day of 4 coming up over the course of this week. We still have 2 more casters. I swear, if you don't like us, well, too bad. You got to deal with us with equal amount of time because we're splitting with us 2, Vince and Wolfie, who will be joining you for the 3rd and final game of the day.
Might be soon, to be honest.
It might be very soon.
That carries on.
I hope they're awake. That's my question.
What time is it?
Yeah,
it is
it's
3 p.m.
A little bit after when they normally wake up, I'm guessing. But then again, Wolfie, you know, UK, Vince, UK, 1 hour behind. Who knows? But yeah, 13-2 for Fnatic. I mean, there's really not much to say about how that first half went because it was almost flawless.
Yeah, it's one of the cases of Renegades where they do rely quite heavily on Dexter a lot of the time to do the dirty work, and it only really came across a couple of times. Like the opening duels. Yeah, the opening duels that came out from Fnatic were phenomenal. Like the peaks from the Orbs, Golden even taking fights in middle and winning them the majority of the time. Like every single player on their team in double digits. Like you can't really ask for much more in a first half from a team. And well, this tournament, it really is hotting up. Like Astralis winning their opening best of 3, like pulling up a great match of Overpass. Fnatic coming into this looking strong. Sure, there's only the first half of the first map of the series, but this really is hotting up. I'm getting more excited as we go along.
I mean, that's typically how tournaments work, right? You get better and better games, and no, it's fine. I like you excited.
Not
Tom.
all the time.
That's
Not
true.
all the time.
I like excited Tom. He jumps around a lot.
Well, CT side, nice shot from Sicko through the smoke, and they're actually still going to have a man at the back of sight. It's been a complete long push, but they've left JW behind. He'll be looking to come in on our flank, and considering they've managed to get the bomb down, and there are 4 players on shore, JW could be the most important player in the round, or he could get behind them and do absolutely nothing. We'll have to wait and see. But there's the flank, and it's exactly what happened. He's set up for the perfect play, but Inns is just watching, ready and waiting. It's a bomb plant, but no kills for Fnatic and Renegades. They're going to make that work in the retake. Really well done. I'm still a little bit disappointed that JW didn't get a kill.
So is 2020 the year of you having the commentator's curse and not me for once?
The thing is, I called it before it happened. So, you know, if anything, that just means I'm a genius. It is the classic, though. It's like, he could be everything or nothing.
How's it feel to be sitting on that fence? No, definitely true, and that's unfortunate. I guess if he didn't run as quickly as he did, he actually would have been able to flank around behind them without being spotted by Ins or heard by Ins. But you know what? They're still up 13-3 either way, so not too big of a loss for them in the end. And now Renegades, maybe they can have their chance. Maybe they can have their moment to start to string together some rounds.
Oh, here we go. New skybox available for the smokes. Going to be leaving the CT side in a little bit of extra trouble here. The smoke going to go down just beside him. In fact, allows the potential wraparound around the door, which hasn't actually come in yet. They're still waiting patiently. The smoke's going to go down into middle. The CT side are completely surrounded, and Dexter has to go walking through the smoke, and he gets owned by Brolin. The same happens to Hats, and that is a perfect execution coming out from Fnatic. It left that B site completely isolated. There was absolutely nothing that those players could do, and the issue is, like, sure, you'd like to see more of a rotation coming out from the CT side, maybe somebody pressuring into middle, but they don't know that that's the play.
You know what's weird is that Renegades chose this map and we didn't see an execute like that on B at all.
But that is still one of the things that I've been a bit disappointed from the matches I've casted myself, which so far there have been like a few ESEA games here and there building into this, but I really haven't seen many like proper executions through the skybox of the map, which was one of the things that everybody was worried about, but it doesn't seem like there's too many. I know that Complexity, I think, utilized it a little bit when they were over at Blast, so that maybe there's a few teams that will still use it, but I'm hoping to see more and more as we go along. But already, Fnatic, that's exactly what you can do with it. Just smoking off the door, making things very difficult. Dexter taking a risk to go through that smoke, and because of it, he's met by his doom.
Yeah, what do you do in that situation? I mean, ditching the site to play for retake, that's
You needed someone in CT, really, to try and like at least
Counter
fight
flash.
something back, or yeah, maybe a flashbang out. It seemed like Renegades were just in an awful position there, but well done to Fnatic for basically just isolating them completely.
Well, Brolin's looking to get out long right away. Does get caught on the dumpster, though, and a little bit, unfortunately, in. That turns into a dumpster fire as he gets dropped right off the bat, and Renegades are the ones to get the man advantage within the first 20 seconds of the round. Now, I still don't want to count them out just yet because, I mean, Crim's been hitting shots, Flusha, JW. I seem to be prepared to play on Dust2 as well. Like, again, just think back to the first half, Renegades didn't do any sort of execute like that towards B. Fnatic do it in their second round. Maybe looking to do it again, as they are grouping up back in towards tunnel, and they do have 2 smokes up for it.
Yeah, both players actually over and towards the truck as well in the corner, just sat back patiently. Smoke going to be coming in through middle. This time there is actually a player there though. Hats obviously knowing that he needs to try and help defend the team. Instead, it's just going to be a full push all the way through. Molotov's actually clearing out some of the back portions, but there's no CTs there. 40 seconds left, and there's still very little information for Fnatic how many players are here. And they're trying to boost over the top of the smoke, but, well, that didn't work. Golden just running into the site, did the Deeg, can only find one. Cross will come in from Flusher, a little bit of a tag, which will slow him down a little bit, but other than that, not much else. And a nice shot, at least from JW, will net 1, but Hats is very quick to trade that back. Leaves us in a 2 versus 2. With no real utility for either side.
AK and Famas against the 2 M4s, and right now Hat's been able to get a big kill on a Flush, and a second as well. It's his 3rd of the round, gets a Hats trick. And Renegade's gonna go up to 4 rounds now to 14.
I feel gross.
Come on. I almost guarantee you have that in your back pocket ready to go.
I don't prepare puns. That's tragic. that really would be tragic if I was preparing them beforehand.
I'm going to make Jason laugh. I got this one nailed.
I don't know. I don't aim for laughs. I aim for the cringe.
Oh, no. There's plenty of those. We haven't had any of those out of you so far today where I'm just like, yeah.
It's only day 1.
We'll get there.
Still a few more to go.
So, where's Vince?
Ooh, through the door as well. JW is going to kick things off with Dexter now down, and I think he's just caught Sicko as well. That's a lot of damage done very early on into this. In fact, Sicko in the meantime is going to go fading back onto that A site. He still hasn't managed to get his AWP in hand, and considering that as an AWPer, he's normally someone you'll see like go a little bit aggressive peeking into mid, but mainly hold down the mid of the A site. Like he'll just be standing there and basically be someone that you have to try and remove from position. You'll see similar on Inferno as well on the A side. Like he almost uses the AWP as a shotgun. So the fact that he's not being able to get it, may not get it at all if Fnatic win this round, is going to be a bit of a disappointment on that CT side. Nonetheless, Fnatic now, they're going to have free roam of short control. It's more of an attempt to hold on to long here from the CT side. And bear in mind that Sicko is the only real defender. He will have support called, but it does leave positions open on the rest of the map. And that's the sort of gambles that Renegades are having to take, not only because that is just how you play Dust2 in general, like risking rotations, but also because two of their players are so desperately low on health.
I mean, just even looking how they took towards short. Like, they flashed and boosted someone around the corner. Something we didn't really see out of Renegades too often. Like, the flash alone was missing, where JD was able to hit multiple shots. Ins, though, playing up close to the smoke, might be able to catch him off guard. Gets out Roland, not able to escape, unfortunately. JW takes him down. And Sicko, he gets a tag. Was that actually a double tag coming through?
I think there was a nade thrown in at the same time. And in the meantime, Flusher just peeks out long. Both players executed in this round. Quickly swings on its head. They're going to have just about enough time to get the bomb down. And now Flusher just waiting on that cross. Hats, I think he knows that he has to peek into the other angle, but actually just goes straight for Crims and leaves Dexter all alone. 14 HP, I don't really see a way that he gets back into this, just hoping that someone on the Fnatic side makes a mistake. And JW, you can see the temptation from him to go for a peek, but doesn't actually spot anything out. And now Dexter should just be able to run away and save that gun, at least bring something into the next round. But even still, that will put Fnatic onto map point on their opposition's map choice. And Renegades with the horrible task of trying to claim back 11 rounds in a row.
And that's just for overtime. That's not even for the map victory. Dexter, I mean, he's the only one with a real weapon coming into this round. The AUG. Fnatic not looking too great on money either, but obviously going to be able to drop around towards each other. And, you know, I'm honestly thinking towards Inferno already. Like, I don't want to count this one out just yet, but, like, I know Inferno is still a decent map for Renegades, but Fnatic, like, they've not been tested. They've not been pushed. They just do some simple executes. They're hitting their shots. I don't want to say Renegades are out, but they have to completely change things up going to map number 2.
Already long control going to have to be surrendered, and the CT side, we'll see how they actually adapt to this. A little bit more early presence into the B side, but nothing spotted. And in the meantime, boost up onto short to try and gather some control. As said, once this is lost, they almost have to try and take something else in return. Being fairly patient with it. You can see the temptation to try and look in this direction, but there's actually nobody here for now. It's Flusher, and more importantly, a little bit lower down is going to be Brolin. He's waiting to almost play that headshot angle to see if anybody is going to take that play. Dexter as well, maybe just going to try and team up with his, well, I was going to say remaining short players, but he's already dead. And now the Molotov's going to come in at the perfect time, leaving Sicko and his teammate just burning. They don't even have a smoke to put it out. They tried to pull out a flashbang, but that's just going to leave you blind. And, well, they're burnt down to a crisp. It leaves Hats alone, the defender of the B site that no longer needs defending. And this is done. This would be the greatest clutch I have ever seen in Counter-Strike history, and it's not going to happen.
I should really hope where that commentator's curse just randomly pop in and say hello.
I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. Like, it would be wonderful if this man could bring it back, but it isn't the case. And Fnatic have been absolutely dominant in this map. A 16-4 showing in their first map, or first official, in what is nearly 3 months. Impressive showing from them overall.
Impressive indeed, and that means we're going to be heading to a break. And when we come back, we'll be kicking off Inferno with Fnatic currently up 1-0.